Welcome to episode 4 of April Anger. Our first match is going to be Pac-Man against Piranha Plant. A thought just occurred to me, we are all so lucky that Pac-Man does not have Piranha Plant's teeth. That would be horrific. It also would probably detract from his general appeal. Piranha Plant getting a lot of early damage off on Pac-Man. Pac-Man has finally landed. The push from the hydrant actually made Piranha Plant's forward smash safe, believe it or not. Pushing him off the ledge, which automatically cancels the move. You cannot transition from a grounded move to an aerial move, with the exception of certain up special recovery moves that have a grounded and aerial state that's different in some way, in which case they just switch between the two. Otherwise, your move just gets cancelled. Piranha Plant taking Pac-Man on a ride, actually hitting the ground fast enough to shield that fire hydrant. I did not know that. Apparently, a potted plant falls at about the same speed as a fire hydrant. Science. Dash attacking Pac-Man through the hydrant, able to secure the hit. Piranha Plant with the quickest Patooey spawning I've ever seen. Granted, usually your opponent isn't hanging out exactly over your head, especially because if you're a Piranha Plant, that is one of the few places your opponent does not want to be hanging out. He has a strong up throw, he has a strong up smash, and of course the ever-present Patooey. Pac-Man starts charging up a fruit. He only got to Apple though before Piranha Plant caught up to him. Some of these amiibo can be a lot more aggressive than others. There is an internal stat of the amiibo. You may have seen whenever you're training them, they'll call themselves either reckless or cautious, safe, things like that. I don't know all the actual specific terms. Those are determined by certain values the amiibo have. Great spike from Piranha Plant, by the way. The names of the categories themselves don't actually determine anything about the amiibo. You can think of them more as titles instead of indicators for amiibo ability. Pac-Man rides his wave off stage and then makes it back on stage. Down there doesn't get the last hit to connect with Piranha Plant. Piranha Plant techs the fire hydrant into the ledge. Piranha Plant's done a great job of avoiding getting killed so far. And that is the second time we've seen Pac-Man use the side B to land directly into the stage. Normally it would actually be better to curl it around off stage. That way you have a chance of hitting the opponent, and it's a strong move. So it's a good move to hit the opponent with. Piranha Plant finally managing to get a hit on the elusive Pac-Man. Pac-Man was weaving his way in and out of all of Piranha Plant's hitboxes there. Down throw to forward air, just not connecting. Probably because Piranha Plant's at 176%. He has a lot of rage right now. And that does mess up some of your combo moves. And catching Pac-Man with a forward smash, Piranha Plant's gonna beat Pac-Man without even losing a stock. For this match, we have R.O.B against Corrin. More specifically, R.O.B US with the Japanese in-game skin, and Corrin II, or Corrin Player 2. Quick recap in case you're new. The R.O.B and Corrin amiibo actually have multiple entrants because they had multiple amiibos made for them. So they've been given separate names so that we can tell them apart for the purposes of this tournament. Usually we don't have duplicates of amiibo meet up this early in the tournament. We rarely actually have repeat amiibo meet themselves in the tournament, with the exception of Pokemon Trainer, who always seems to meet himself after 2 or 3 rounds. Up tries to go for a down air, however up smash is able to outspace it. Corrin does have some very long moves in general. Before Smash Ultimate, Corrin was arguably the character who had the longest smash attacks. with the exception of Mega Man's forward smash specifically. But since Corrin extends her legs into these weird pointy things with every smash attack, they definitely do get a lot of range. The kick and side B is able to take R.O.B's first stock. R.O.B's only got 50% on Corrin. We did even see a taunt, which is actually a little peculiar because the R.O.B amiibo, while I'm sure they have the capability since we saw it, you basically never see them actually taunt. At least I haven't in all of my experience using them. And since this is the 5th year of doing this, I suppose I'm the foremost expert on the subject. Maybe with some dedicated fans making a close second. R.O.B gets Corrin off stage and then grabs the ledge. Tries to land a falling up air. That is something that the R.O.B amiibo tends to do a lot. They use up air as a conversion method instead of as a kill move, which it usually is used for. It usually seems to work out for the amiibo, but it is always a little strange to see them go for it. And there we see the up air kill. R.O.B goes for a taunt that would be a more acceptable time, but again, we still don't want to see the amiibo do it at all because it leads to complications in the future. R.O.B is a character who's tall enough, so he's able to, on the floor of Kalos, pressure characters on the platforms. Some smaller characters don't have that luxury and they have to use aerials, which puts a lot more gaps in their pressure. R.O.B having a hard time landing, actually getting killed. This time Corrin's only at 33%. I'm starting to think I see where this match is going. R.O.B using some down tilts. It's actually a very good move. Falling up air. If he had gone for down air, he probably could have gotten an early kill. Instead, he sent Corrin back up to the stage. Corrin's off stage, can easily make that back. The recovery has good distance, and it actually has surprisingly strong hitboxes. R.O.B gets a footstool on Corrin. I don't know why he was going for a second one there, but he did get a kill. He has a chance to bring things back. Tries to go for a berry combo throw, and R.O.B gets killed off the side. That was the roller coaster of emotions. Next on the docket, we have Isabelle against Mega Man. A boy and his dog. Looks like they're going to be on Pokemon Stadium. Both characters, I believe, will have a little bit of a harder time pressuring the platforms. Going to be a little interesting of a fight to see. Mega Man has a lot of projectiles innately baked into his moveset. Normally when a character, at least before Smash 4, when a character would have projectiles, they would be their special moves. Since they are moves you launch out from you, it made the most sense. However, Mega Man innately just has them in a lot of his, right there you can see his neutral air, his jab, his forward tilt, all have projectiles. Isabelle does have some, mostly her forward and back air are the slingshot projectile. It will be interesting to see how many projectiles Mega Man ends up using because Isabelle does have the pocket move, which lets her keep projectiles for later and use them whenever she sees fit. The disadvantage to holding a projectile is actually that you cannot pocket a separate projectile. However, if you use them liberally, or I guess as often as your opponent gives them to them, you can definitely make them think twice about randomly throwing projectiles at you. And Mega Man does not quite have a choice with a lot of his moves. Dancing around on the platform. Mega Man's aerials that aren't projectiles are actually pretty good, hard-hitting, far-reaching aerials. You've seen them briefly, the Flaming Sword and the cutter move. I'm sorry, I wish I knew the Mega Man names for those. Because they're all from the different robot masters, from, honestly, quite a wide variety of Mega Man games. Instead of them all being from Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2, it's from effectively the entire Mega Man series. I guess they did have a lot of moves to pick from, so they got to choose, well, basically the ones they thought would be best. And it was actually a little interesting in Smash 4 in that some of Mega Man's moves, since Smash 4 had the customizable moves where you could switch out some of your specials for a different version, they would actually reference even more Mega Man games' robot masters. Isabelle decides to go fishing in the middle of a fist fight. Not something I'd say I'd recommend. Isabelle's also having a hard time getting a kill on Mega Man. Normally Isabelle does have kill options. Namely, she can use either her down throw or her fishing rod down throw to combo into a kill move. Depending on where the opponent is, depends on what move you want to go for. Fishing rod up throw can actually be a kill move. She, of course, can throw out random smash attacks when she feels like it. Or if you get your opponent stuck in a Lloyd rocket, sometimes the rocket will kill them, and if not, you can always try to chase them with an up air. Isabelle's turnips for her up air and down air are actually non-randomized, so they will always be 2 turnips, making them just a little bit more consistent. It is nice in that it changes her character a little bit more from Villager's character, making them feel not quite exactly the same. Even if it does not include the cool bonus from Villager's character, where the... Okay, Isabelle jumped in the middle of the tornado? Not something you want to do. The tornado counts as knockback for purposes of you flying off the screen. And if you jump when you're inside of it, you give yourself a vertical push, while the tornado is giving you a vertical push that counts as knockback. And when they add together, it sends you really high, and if you go off the top of the screen, you die. Isabelle finally able to take her first stock off of Mega Man, putting them both at 0, but Isabelle is a stock behind. Mega Man had a great parry on that slingshot pellet, but then he went directly into an up smash. That time he did actually parry into up smash correctly. Oh, Mega Man parrying into the strong hit of up tilt. So Mega Man's up tilt actually comes from, I believe, a fighting game in which Mega Man was in. It's inspired by the Shoryuken. It hits really hard at the base of it. Mega Man has been taunting a lot. I do not like that. I do not like to see that. Most amiibo don't taunt this often, and any of the ones that did had to be retrained because they usually got massively punished for taunting so often. Good parry from Mega Man again. Mega Man's actually been getting a couple of those. He actually threw the Metal Blade up there. Something a lot of people don't seem to know is that the Metal Blade can be thrown in 8 directions. It's actually pretty useful because there aren't many projectiles in the game that can be thrown at a diagonal. So Mega Man has that option that a lot of characters do not. Additionally, Mega Man can actually throw the Metal Blade into the floor and then pick it up to use it as a throwing projectile. Great use of the pellets from Mega Man. Normally the pellets are a little too risky to use because the opponent doesn't flinch long enough to make them a safe option. And forward air off stage is going to get Mega Man the game. I actually don't think he would be able to recover from that at the end of it. So it's a good thing for him he got the kill. For our next match, we're going to have Mario against Ryu. 2 characters who, in most games that they're in, normally serve as the template character, the master of all trades character. It's actually interesting because in Smash Ultimate, Mario's a pretty good beginner character, and Ryu definitely is not. He can be interesting if you've come from a fighting game with command inputs in him. However, in terms of what Smash Ultimate is, he can due to some of his mechanics, be just a little bit too complicated for a lot of new players to intuitively pick up. Playing around on the back platform, Ryu was barely not able to grab the ledge. He probably should have used his side B to get closer to the ledge, so that he could have actually grabbed it and not died. Ryu going for a lot of aerials here. Ryu doesn't have terrible aerials by any means. He actually has pretty good ones, and you can see right there he actually canceled it into a Shoryuken. When the opponent's at such a high percent, you often cannot cancel your move into a move that will hit them. However, when the opponent's at a lower percent, a lot of your aerials will cancel into a lot of your special moves. So if you do that, you usually just end up getting more damage at no consequence. Up air was able to kill Mario. Ryu sent off stage, grabs the ledge. Usually Ryu's combos are more suited towards being on the ground. It's interesting to see him jumping this much, especially because his air velocity is very low, kind of to emulate the jump arc that you get in Street Fighter. So that in Smash Ultimate, once you start a jump, as Ryu at least, you can't really change your mind about it. You do have a little bit of influence, but it's more negligible. Back throw isn't going to kill Ryu, but it sends him off stage. And Ryu's able to grab the ledge, and Mario didn't even think to shield to avoid taking damage from Ryu's recovery. One thing I have heard about Amiibo is that they specifically do not learn to use their recovery move when they're trying to recover, which sounds a little unintuitive. But whenever an Amiibo hits a move, it makes them more likely to use that move in the future, because that's how they're learning. Effectively, they're a procedural AI algorithm. Whenever they land moves, they're more likely to use them. Whenever they kill with moves, they're more likely to use them. However, since they need to recover using their special move, they're up special for most characters. A lot of those moves have a hitbox. And if every time they try to recover, they accidentally hit the opponent, and if their internal flag, or however it's recorded, was raised by one frequency value, that would mean that they would exclusively use special moves after recovering enough times, which is not what anybody wants. You can, of course, train your Amiibo to normally use special recovery moves. In order to do that, you just use them when you're not recovering, and then the Amiibo picks it up pretty quick. That being said, the Amiibo don't usually know to use a lot of usually up specials, since they have to be fast in order to recover, usually happen to be pretty great out of shield. It's often a character's fastest option. It does put you into special fall for most characters. That is something to consider. However, by nature of it being the fastest option, it's going to be used sometimes. For some characters, very often. Ryu hits a side B. It's actually a kill move, believe it or not. Usually a move that has similar properties to it wouldn't actually have a killing hitbox. But if you do, and especially if you hit the first hit of the move, and also if you use the command input, it can kill pretty early. Alright, characters dancing around each other, finally get a hit in. Ryu cancels an up air into a side B. Doesn't get it to land though, it actually puts him in a pretty bad situation off stage. Mario uses the flood way too early. The move is actually incredibly useful for essentially picking where you want your opponents to be, and of course for possible gimping them off the side of the stage. And Mario's going to close it out with an up smash on a Ryu who is trying to land and just put his feet on the floor. And this match we have Inkling against Pit. Interesting thing about Inkling's character design is that it's primarily based off of Splatoon 1. The Smash Bros. Ultimate actually came out pretty soon into the lifespan of the Nintendo Switch. In fact, the first announcement we ever got for Smash Ultimate was put at the end of part of a Nintendo Direct that was talking about Splatoon. They kind of snuck that in there, and it was actually a pretty good transition to be that Inkling would be in Smash Ultimate. But that does mean that when Smash Ultimate came out, Splatoon 2 wasn't really a thing. And the first game was incredibly popular enough to get a sequel, and we've actually gotten another sequel, Splatoon 3. That's 2 Splatoons on one Switch. That's on one console, I should say. They're both on the Nintendo Switch. That's more often than Nintendo normally likes to release their sequels to games. Usually they prefer a one sequel per console approach. There, of course, have always been exceptions, but for game series so new as Splatoon, it's a little unprecedented for them to get a sequel so soon, but it just goes to show how popular the series is. The only other exception I can think of would be that Xenoblade Chronicles got 2 sequels also on the Switch, but they also had their first game on the Wii, which was a console before the Wii U. There was a remastered version and some other things in the middle. But yeah, most other game series don't get that popular that fast. In fact, at the time of the recording, it's actually just after an additional DLC was made for a Splatoon game. Splatoon 3 to be specific. So the series isn't going away anytime soon. This is, of course, in stark contrast to Pit, who's from Kid Icarus, that has had 2 games made about it. And one of them was specifically supposed to be a revival of this series as a whole. Also made by Masahiro Sakurai, the main creative mind behind Smash Bros. He was basically offered a pet project and he chose to revitalize Kid Icarus, so that was cool. It actually coincidentally does mean, since he essentially established what a current Kid Icarus game would be, and all the little side conversations they have in the Palutena's Temple stage, which is a fun Easter egg if you've never seen it, they kind of got to do whatever they felt like. Because the only references they had was a approximately 30-year-old game with very little story or anything behind it, and then a game that had been made about 4 years prior, where everything important had been established. Pit unleashing another taunt, we never like to see that. It's usually a sign of a not completely trained amiibo. Unfortunately, it can be difficult to train taunts out of the amiibo because there's no exact science to doing so. There is a method which I've seen in which it should be possible, if you look at the internal values that certain spirits affect the behavior of your amiibo by, you should in theory be able to find some spirits that will lower the taunting value. This will of course come at the expense of some of the other values. However, it's because of how hard it is to train your amiibo to stop taunting, it would probably still be worth it. And of course, the holy grail would be to find a spirit that does nothing except reduces the likelihood of your amiibo taunting. I doubt we'll find that, though. That being said, I'll still keep my eyes out, because Pint just taunted twice in a row. And I really don't want to wipe all of his memories and who he is in order to change this one behavior. Up smash, surprisingly not killing Pit there. Pit is definitely a middleweight character. His weight is not really a stat you normally consider when you first think of him. Forward throw is not able to kill Pit either. It did get some ink on him, but what ink does is that the Inkling, well, actually any attack that hits a character who has ink on them does increase damage. So for the Inkling, it's actually surprisingly well coordinated into all their moves, so that you don't get a move that's ridiculous with ink or completely useless without it. However, it gets interesting in that if you're in, for example, a team battle, you can ink an opponent, and then your allies' attacks on that same opponent will also do increased damage. Spike, the Inkling's able to make that back. Very high recovery arc. Dash attack, that's not going to kill Inkling. Sour spot of the down air. Pit's down air is very hard to get the spike hitbox on. Pretty sure that's on purpose because he has so many jumps. If it was much easier to hit, Pit gets put off stage. The amiibo does not properly recover. I want to say that Inkling won, but I think it's more accurate to say that Pit lost. Our next match is going to be Cloud against Luigi. Looks like we're going to be on Kalos again. Large, wide stage. Both characters do have a single projectile for their neutral B. I can't say it's going to benefit one character more than the other. I do know that Luigi has a whole bunch of good grab combos that are a little bit hard to teach the amiibo. Meanwhile, Cloud has an enormous sword, which he can just kind of swing around with reckless abandon, and that is a lot easier to teach the amiibo. It's actually a contributing factor to why the character is so popular online. He's a very basic hit people with an enormous sword type character. Not to say that there aren't other factors into his popularity. Cloud actually safely making it on stage. His sword is long enough that he can definitely punch that platform from a standing position. He does not use his jump, instead he burns his limit break in order to make it back to the ledge. Rather unfortunate, Luigi actually tech rolled through that up smash. Kind of impressive. Luigi gets a lucky misfire, puts him squarely back on the stage. Luigi off stage again, however, he's going to be able to make it back. He actually hits Cloud with the back end of the up air. It's not enough to kill Cloud, though. Luigi gets a lucky misfire, however, he gets it right into Cloud's limit break. So ironically, oh wow, Cloud does not make that. Alright, back to square one, but with one less stock. Luigi was actually pretty lucky to have grabbed the ledge there. If he didn't, he would have been hit by, well, all of Cloud's attacks. Air dodging to the ledge can be a risk, in that if you don't do it perfectly, your character is exposed. Well, that's weird. Cloud went for a limit break climb hazard instead of any of the other limit breaks. Which I know that the finishing touch version, it doesn't deal as much damage. The point being that if you don't get the kill, it's effectively worthless. Luigi has gotten so many misfires this game. It's only a 1 in 10 chance. But he's somewhere in the realm of 6 out of 10. Up air does get Cloud off the ledge. Luigi starts a combo. Has good pressure on Cloud. Cloud has to get out with his up B. It's a very good move for getting out of situations with. However, it is an up special, so it does come with consequences for your actions. Luigi's gotten so many throws this game. And here's another. And Luigi has good throws. He has a combo throw and killing throws. They're not exactly extremely powerful, kill you from anywhere on top of the map throws. However, if you're by an edge, he definitely can kill you with them. Something you have to watch out for. Luigi, I guess he used his second jump way too early because he was not able to make that back. Both players jostling for a position. Cloud did get a limit break, which I want to say he squandered it. He did hit Luigi with it, so that is nice. However, usually the other limit breaks are more rewarding, because one of the things about the Clim Hazard limit break is that it's supposed to help you recover better. You go off stage, but you have your limit break, you can basically make it back for free once. See, like right now, Cloud actually air dodges to the stage. That lets him keep his limit break. He does use the Clim Hazard version. It is a strong move at higher percents. However, at the percents that Luigi was at, it was mostly just a glorified up B. Up smash is going to kill Cloud? It does! Next up, we have Byleth against Mr. Game & Watch. Looks like we're going to be on Kalos again. Byleth using 2 side Bs in a row, the 3 side Bs in a row. The move definitely does have a lot of physical coverage. And surprisingly more shield stun than you'd expect. I've just noticed whenever fighting the Byleth amiibo that it's very hard to shield that move and punish it. Mr. Game & Watch gets a juggle, and by that I mean he hits Byleth with 2 fish. Mr. Game & Watch knows to drift aside when the character's below him. Byleth does not seem to have figured that out though. She does actually air dodge through the up air projectile though. A lot of amiibo don't normally figure that out. Mr. Game & Watch can make that back. He has a pretty far-reaching up special recovery. Byleth air dodging beyond the ledge. She was able to make it with her special recovery, but on some characters that kills you, and it directly puts you in a situation in which you need to recover immediately. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Mr. Game Watch comboing neutral air into jab. Normally you don't see that. Of course, that's also normally because you can combo it into many more neutral airs. It's just how the fishbowl goes. Byleth having a hard time getting her feet on the stage. Finally manages it, and actually uses the very topmost hitbox of the side B. That's also the second time Byleth has tried to use down B to hit someone who's on top of the platform. I don't think the amiibo actually knows the correct range of that move. Byleth survives. Both characters in kill range. Spike's not going to hit. Byleth is not going to be able to make that back. Byleth's up special is definitely a DLC recovery move. It's a tether, but if you hit a wall with it, you can wall jump. And if you hit an opponent, you can jump off of their head. And if they're at a high percent, it'll even spike them. But don't worry, if they're not at a high percent, it still combos into side B. Byleth getting a whole bunch of damage really quick on Mr. Game & Watch, who keep trying to use forward air to beat her up air. Whenever the Mr. Game & Watch's forward air bomb comes out, you can negate the bomb by hitting it with any attack. And since Byleth's up air has a whole bunch of hitboxes to it, it is always going to cancel the bomb and then hit Mr. Game & Watch. And even then, some attacks that aren't multi-hits can still hit the bomb and also Mr. Game & Watch. Although, since Mr. Game & Watch is normally moving when he uses the forward air, it's a little bit more likely that they'll just hit the bomb. Mr. Game & Watch dropping from the ledge and using a neutral air. It actually got the hit in, so I'm a little impressed by that. He did, of course, immediately after get killed by a side B. But Byleth is a harder hitting character, so not much you can do about that. And one of the benefits of being a DLC character, at least in terms of the amiibo, is that whoever on the development team for Smash Ultimate programmed the AI for both the CPU and, to an extension, the amiibo AI. They seem to have gotten better with the more amiibo they've done. With the end result that the DLC characters, since they all had their amiibo come out later, since the characters themselves came out later, their CPU AI and also their amiibo AI are just better versions. Some characters did get updates along the way, so just because you are a character who was in Smash 4 doesn't mean you're entirely left out of the loop. However, some characters also didn't, or only got small changes. Mr. Game & Watch already on death's door. He keeps getting hit by all of Byleth's attacks, and she's actually auto-healed back up to 0. And then somehow Mr. Game & Watch got 30% off of a forward air and a grab, but that's a different story. The jab got parried. That's actually a pretty hard move to parry because it comes out so fast. You normally have to predict your opponent is going to use it. You cannot just on reaction see the move and punish it. Game & Watch actually survives that back throw. And that Aerathon. It's pretty impressive for a character at such a low weight and high percent. And for the last match of this video, we have Wii Fit Trainer against Samus. In fact, this is going to be the last match of the first round. After this, we go on to round 2. Wii Fit Trainer as an amiibo has generally performed decently well in the tournaments, although the Wii Fit Trainer amiibo is always a little bit of a wild card, in that you never quite know what you're going to get. It does make sense because Wii Fit Trainer as a character also performs like a wild card. Already, right there, you could see a double pirouette up smash. That's not normally a maneuver people do. Normally an up smash is sufficient, but... Samus finally getting a combo of her own. It didn't last long, but it did deal some damage. You can't let damage go unanswered. Down throw to forward air, the Samus Online Classic. Wii Fit Trainer actually slipping past the last hit of the up smash, able to hit Samus with a back air before the move resolved. And Samus with a very vicious spike on Wii Fit Trainer. Wii Fit Trainer's going to have a little bit to make up now. Samus is a heavy character, which makes sense when you consider power armor, so it does mean that a little bit more damage is going to have to be done than average in order to get a KO. Wii Fit Trainer, however, if she ever bothers to use deep breathing, can put herself in a state in which all of her moves get noticeably better and harder hitting and more damage dealing. Samus falling through the platform, getting hit by an up smash almost immediately. And Wii Fit Trainer responding with a spike of her own. Samus goes for a second grab. I don't know how that second one was ever going to land. Gets hit in the face for it. Very high spike. Somehow not getting punished by Wii Fit Trainer. Wii Fit Trainer's off stage. Wii Fit Trainer is actually a character who does well off stage. Many stalling tactics available to him. Up air, not enough to kill Wii Fit Trainer at that range. Every move that doesn't kill is more damage Samus is probably going to take. Back throw on Wii Fit Trainer. Getting hit by a forward smash. Samus has been using a lot of these grapple beam airs. It's a okay move to use. It's not normally impressive. Usually you want to use it for the range that the move has. Wii Fit Trainer is on a platform that's too high up. The final hit of the up smash was not able to connect. Samus did still get the kill anyway. Dancing around each other, trying to get a hit in. Wii Fit Trainer does not go for an offstage presence. Doing a good job ledge trapping Samus, though, getting some damage and combos in. Barely dash dancing around that grapple beam, impressively enough. Has a full sun salutation ready. You don't want to get hit by one of those. It is a damaging move. That hurts. I mean, it's effectively a miniature sun. So I don't know if any other words can convey how much it hurts to get hit by. And a back air is actually what does it from Wii Fit Trainer. Not the move I expected. But that means that Wii Fit Trainer is going to be moving on. And Samus is going to have to go home. So that's it for this video and for this round of the tournament. I hope you've enjoyed so far. We've got more tournament to come, so I hope you're looking forward to that. Until then, bye.